Now, many of the techniques that you see in our television coverage today, split screen, multiple images, slow motion, were pioneered 15 years ago in a film by John Frankenheimer. His title, appropriate, Grand Prix.
The movie, of course, is Grand Prix. It won 3 Academy Awards, but perhaps more importantly, it became the standard of all coverage of motorsports thereafter. And the film today is just as incredible as it was 15 years ago. This is the creator of Grand Prix, the director, John Frankenheimer. And John, it had to be a battle against uphill odds just to shoot the picture. Why did you want to do it?
Oh, Paul, I love racing. I used to drive in amateur races. But I figured that my contribution to the world of racing was going to be behind the camera rather than behind the wheel.
Why did you choose Formula One? It seemed it would have been easier to do American Championship, American Stock Car.
In the first place, I wanted it to be an international movie. And I wanted to shoot in various countries throughout Europe. I wanted the romance of Formula One. I didn't want a lot of smells of gasoline and grease in this movie. I wanted to take the spectator and show him what a fantastic life this was.
John, let's take a look at some of the magnificent film that came out of Grand Prix.
It's going to be good to see it again, Paul.
Monte Carlo, was it difficult to shoot in and out of the crowds? Did you have problems there?
Yes, we had tremendous problems because Monte Carlo was our first race. It was a breaking-in period for us. On race day, for instance, we would have 18 to 20 cameras. The other thing was the logistics of communicating with cameras and technicians during the race. And what you don't realize is the tremendous racket and the noise of those Formula One 3-liter engines reverberating off the walls of those buildings. Everything had to be talked about in advance and done with flags.
You put cameras that they'd never been placed before, where places I suspect that they really didn't belong. How did you devise all of those riggings, all of those shots?
Well, Paul, what we did was extensive testing at Riverside before we ever went on a racetrack. Phil Hill, Bob Bondurant helped me with that testing. And we had a genius of a man who could put the cameras on the car, a man named Bill Frick. And he revolutionized mounting cameras. He did the whole thing with tubular aluminum struts. And he could put a camera anywhere we wanted it.
Was any of the specialized equipment you were using, was it known at that time, or were you developing it all?
No, it was kind of earn-as-you-learn productions, Paul. We just went ahead and tried it. If it worked, we kept it. It's been since used a great deal, but none of that stuff did exist, no.
The use of the multiple image, the slow motion, why did you strike on that as a technique?
I was dealing with this huge Cinerama screen. I thought I had the room on the screen to show 3 things or 4 things, or in the case of these multiple images, sometimes 20 things at once. And I do think we managed to do that. And I think that it compressed time. Instead of cutting to 1 thing at a time, you were able to show 3, 4 things at the same time. And at the same time, it made the images on the screen terribly interesting. As far as the slow motion is concerned, strangely, that is not slow motion. It's just the use of long lenses, which when cars are coming at you, slow them down. Those shots, those long lens shots were done with 1,000-millimeter lenses, and these were superimposed. These were images, multiple images that we did in the laboratory afterwards. The problem we faced in the picture was to make each race different. And we had 5 major races. Now, you didn't want the things to look all alike. So this one, we wanted to do the beauty of motor racing and the crowds and what happens, the lyrical quality of a motor race. As you notice, the Grand Prix theme is throughout this entire race. And we didn't want to show any danger here. We just wanted to show beauty. And the nice thing about it is I knew while I was making it that it was going to be the most fun I was ever going to have in my career. So it's not looking back and saying, I wish I'd enjoyed that more. I loved every minute of making this movie. When you finished actually shooting one of these Grand Prix and knew that you did it, it was almost like having driven in a race.
The start of many of the innovations that you're watching today.